Okay, so number 100 on last night's homework. Find the cube roots of negative 4 square root of 2 times the quantity 1 minus I. So first I would distribute that and write this in a plus bi form. Negative 4 square root of 2 plus 4i square root of 2. Then when you graph this, you have negative 4 square root of 2 and positive 4 square root of 2. So that gives us the angle here of 135 degrees because this is a 45-degree angle. And then for the hypotenuse, we have x radical 2. So we have 4 radical 2 times radical 2, which is 8. So r is 8, and theta is 135 degrees. So to rewrite z in polar form, we have 8 times the quantity of the cosine of 135 plus I times the sine of 135. So now the cube roots. Using our formula, we have the cube root of 8 times the cosine of 135 plus 360k divided by 3. 360 because I used degrees for the angle, and 3 because they're asking me for the cube root, plus I times the sine of 135 plus 360, okay, over 3. Oops. So the first cube root is going to be when k equals 0. So we have the cube root of 8, which is 2. I'll just write 2, times the cosine of 135 divided by 3, plus I times the sine of 135 divided by 3. Now, in this case, we can simplify this pretty easily because 135 divided by 3 is 45. So we have the cosine of 45 plus I times the sine of 45. So if I want to go back to standard form, which I didn't have to do, but we can, we have 2 times the square root of 2 over 2 plus I times the square root of 2 over 2. And then if we want to distribute the 2, we would have square root of 2i, square root of 2 plus I times the square root of 2. So here's the first one. Now the second one, I'm going to use k equals 1, and I have 2 times the cosine of 135 plus 360 divided by 3 plus I times the sine of 135 plus 360 divided by 3. So then I have 2 times the cosine of, let's see, I think that's 165 plus I times the sine of 165. Now 165 is not an angle that is something that we know the reference angle for and can find easily. So we can just stop here. Now if you wanted to put it in standard form, you would need to use the calculator to put in standard form. Standard form. Alright, so the third cube root is going to be when k equals 2. So we have 2 times the cosine of 135 plus 360 times 2 divided by 3 plus I times the sine of 135 plus 360 divided by times 2 divided by 3. So then our angle is going to be $285. So we have 2 times the cosine of 285 plus I times the sine of 285. So there's the third cube root.